everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. For the Grue Rume Show today, I got a very awesome guest. He is the writer and director of a new horror film that's coming out called Voice of Shadows, and I'm talking about Nick Bain. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Rume Show, and my interview with Nick will be coming up very soon. This is my Grue Rume, and as always, welcome to my nightmare. So stay tuned. All right, buddy. Welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time and coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Hey, like I was telling you before we start recording that anytime I get to talk about something to do with horror, I love
Yeah,
it.
I can see by all the fandom behind you that.
Yeah, right. So, like, the first thing I want to start out asking you is, you have a new horror films coming out, Voice of Shadows, and what inspired you to want to write and make the horror film?
Um, it's inspired by sort of theological horrors of the past, such as The Exorcist. I wanted to do a horror film that was also sort of inspired by other films like Paranormal Activity and other non-horror films like House of Sand and Fog.
Nice, nice. Every time like I see the Exorcist, like I can't get that image of Linda Blair going down the stairs backwards like that. That freaked me out so much the first time I ever saw that. Like I was creeped out by it. I couldn't go to sleep or anything.
Yeah, it's and in that scene in that film, you don't know if it's gonna go that way or the film's gonna sort of ever elevate to that level. And then when it does happen, it's like holy crap, you know?
Oh yeah, there were some crazy things in that one.
Absolutely.
And and with your horror film, it definitely has the eerie vibe. Like the
Yeah.
film, the film starts out definitely on an eerie note where you have the three people, the creepy old woman. But I'm not giving nothing away or anything. But you keep the eerie vibe going throughout the film. And how do you create like that creepy, eerie tone of the movie?
I mean, certainly you have to have, everything working for that to go. But it certainly starts out with, the screenplay. But then you have to get the right sets, the right costumes, the right actors, the sense of intimacy in the characters and the sense of suspense in each scene. And of course, after that, you have the color, you have, the sound design, and then you have the composers. And I think the composers really knocked it out of the park in terms of creating, that vibe throughout the
Definitely,
picture.
definitely. Yeah, like that was like I definitely was gonna ask about that. I mean, for anyone who's gonna watch the movie when it's available to watch, um, the music, the score, it's definitely creep. It has the creep vibe, like you were saying, the eerie, creepy vibe, and to me, like the score of a movie is just as important as anything else. Because if you watch Halloween, I don't think it would be as effective if it wasn't for John Carpenter and
Yeah.
playing the music. So who did you wind up getting for the score? Like who did you look for to make the score for the film?
Well, so composers, they're like screenwriters. They're sort of a dime a dozen. I mean, I have a screenwriting background, so there's so many composers out there. I had no idea who I was going to get. So I actually used the one time for this movie, I used Upwork, and I got like I would say 200 applications, and I listened to all of them, and only one, Uku and Elif, they're a married couple, and they live in between England and Turkey. When I heard their music, I'm like, that's it. You know what I mean? You hear that sound, it's what you're looking for. They're so talented. Ellis works for the London Symphony Orchestra. You know what I mean? So They're just extremely talented. Although Ellis wouldn't actually watch the entire movie, she just was like told what to do, like by her husband, like we need broken strings here or whatever. But they're very receptive, and yeah, I mean, back to the point of Halloween, it's like every time I watch Halloween, I go, I like I've seen all 37 Halloween movies, but I'm like, I don't know how far this would have gotten if it wasn't for the theme music, which is
Yeah.
just the best theme for a movie I've ever heard.
Oh my God,
I'm
it's
like,
clear.
yeah,
Yes.
I'm like, if they never found like a William Shatner mask and like didn't have this score, like I don't know, like if there would have been more than one movie, you know?
Yeah, you're right. The mask definitely had a lot to do with it too, but that theme song and just like the movie itself, like whenever Michael's about to appear, the music gets like real creepy. Then when it
Yeah,
goes like you definitely know he's coming.
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. And it just works. Everything about that score, and John Carpenter did that. Obviously, we know. But works. It works almost better than the script in a way. So it's like
Basically.
yeah. With this, it's like there's a lot more. There's a lot more. Not to compare it to Halloween, but my my movie's better than Halloween. No, it's just this film is a little bit denser, and I don't think Mildew will be coming after Celeste for 12 more movies, but I guess we'll see.
Hey, I don't know. You never know.
Yeah.
And I I I love like the darker horror films too, like the
Mhm.
ones where you watch it and you leave the movie feeling like very creeped out. And were there any like horror films along that theme that you watched to get ready to write the film?
Um, I mean, I sort of have a few always in the back of my mind. A couple are recent. The Green Room. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
That one I
Which
haven't seen.
Yeah, it's the A24 horror film. There's no monsters, but Patrick Stewart plays a Nazi, and it's about this punk band that gets witnesses of murder and gets like held captive in this green room. So it's technically not like it's a psychological horror. And for me, that one's always in the back of my mind. Saw's always sort of in the back of my mind. Rosemary's Baby. So
Yes.
yeah, and Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Yeah. I saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Great choices. I love it. And how did you wind up finding your amazing cast for the film? Like they definitely nailed it out of the park.
Yeah. Thanks. Well, Guillermo, the lead, is he's co-creator of the film.
Mm-hmm.
He's the lead in the film, and we were friends before we decided to make this movie. We had tried to make a couple things before, but as it goes in Hollywood, what you try to get made doesn't usually get done. Um, um, B Bang I knew for a while. I actually wrote a role for him in a chess mockumentary that never got made. And then, but like Martin, who plays Ernesto, was my neighbor in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's one great thing about living in LA is like Sadar, who did the visual effects, and Martin, who plays Ernesto, are like, oh, they lived in my apartment complex. So pretty soon, you're having drinks with them by the pool or whatever, and just creating those connections.
Oh, hey, that's the way to do it. Like sit by the pool and have drinks, right?
Yeah, or only the rest of it were that easy.
Right. Yeah.
We thought it was going to be that easy, but
And, and also like who did you find for like all the like great makeup and effects and the gore and all that stuff?
um, so we let's see for the makeup, um, we had a woman named Itzel, and her husband is actually one of the key grips as well. And then so we brought them in from LA. We shot in Minnesota.
Okay.
And then, yeah, we shot in Minnesota. And we brought a lot of people from LA. I should say we had some Minnesota talent as well that we used through a casting agency. Jane Hamill and Michael Paul Levin and Kevin Loki all came from that talent agency. And then we used a local wardrobe person named Ellie, who was like a rock on set. You need like that person on set. She was great.
Nice. Nice. And where did you wind up shooting the film? Was it in like one big area, a bunch of different areas? Like where was everything shot at?
Yeah, so it was supposed to be, right? But we shot in a southeast Minnesota town called Lanesboro at a bed and breakfast, which is this house you can actually go stay in. It's called the James A. Hill House. It's a really cool little tourist town. And I can't wait to go back there. Then we shot at a church in downtown St. Paul, called the St. Louis Catholic Church. And for some reason, they let me shoot this movie there. They're really great. You never know. It's like you knock on all the Catholic churches in the neighborhood, and most of them don't want to let you in. But these
Yeah.
guys were like, Father Sajak was just like, yeah, let's shoot a movie, and they were just super accommodating. And then shot in a couple other locations in Minnesota, like for the apartments, and then we got shut down due to COVID. We had a COVID outbreak, so we shot like the last 4 days in Los Angeles. So like if you look carefully, you'll see like palm trees in the background of like some of the exterior car scenes. You're like, this is not, this isn't, you're not in Kansas anymore, right? So, but the final scene of the film is shot in a studio in Los Angeles.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so it's when I see it, it's interesting for me. Like I see one person leave a room in the house and then they go into another room that's in Los Angeles. You know what I mean? It's like things you would
Right.
never pick on. Yeah.
When when you were filming in that little small town you said that you were in, did you go out and explore the town and stuff and find places to eat and all that fun stuff?
Yep. Yep. So yeah, the town of Lanesboro, well, it's just kind of a summer town. It's kind of a biker town. So you're around all these tourists, and you're working like 20-hour days and chain smoking cigarettes and drinking Red Bulls and like so envious of them. But yeah, we shot, we ate, I think, in every restaurant there. It's a great weekend town. The problem of shooting in a small town is accommodation. Like, you know what I mean? Like the nearest Walmart's like 70 miles away in
Yeah, yeah.
Rochester, Minnesota. And Rochester, Minnesota is known for like the Mayo Clinic and like the Spam Factory. But it's just like that's like 70 miles. Yeah. So that in terms of finding lodging and feeding a crew, it was difficult, but we made it work.
Oh.
We had some people sleeping in RVs and stuff like that, but it was fun, sort of.
Hey, anything to get the film made, right?
Yeah, yeah, that was the attitude. When you want to make an indie movie, make sure that's your co-creator's attitude, because be given you're pretty much your firstborn for it to happen. So
That's true. Yes. And how long did it take to shoot everything, especially with the COVID outbreak and stuff?
yeah. So we had I think we had 14 shooting days in Minnesota before we got shut down, and then we brought it to LA and did like I think a total of 4 more days of shooting. So I was talking to my friend who's like an old studio writer, and he just couldn't believe that we shot a movie in 18 days. I've never seen a look on anyone's face before. You know what I mean? Somebody that was writing movies for Fox in the 70s and 80s, like you had all this money and you had 150 days to shoot a $15 million movie, or you know what I mean? It's like the life of luxuries. You don't sell specs that don't get made anymore for 200 grand. It's not the reality we live in anymore.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
not the reality I've ever lived in. So,
And of course, without giving a lot away about the film, is there a certain scene that you enjoyed the most, like that you liked filming the most?
I have a few scenes that I really like in the film. I really like the opening scene with Gabrielle in the confession booth.
Yes, yes,
And
that yeah.
yeah, was that, I don't know, like, so we cut that scene up so you have the credits and the score and everything.
Hmm.
Originally, it was supposed to be this like 4 minute monologue, um, and then we cut it up. And So if you pay attention to like that scene and everything he says, it really lays out everything. Uh, Not that's going to happen in the movie, but explains so much about the character and sort of what needs to happen for him in order to sort of find redemption throughout that story. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really good scenes. I think the stuff with Guillermo, who plays Gabrielle, and
Hmm.
Celeste Majo, like the Spanish scenes. There's like 3 Spanish scenes. Um, I think those are really solid.
Oh yeah, definitely. And is there what did you like most about like creating this film, like making it and everything?
Um, I definitely had the most fun writing the screenplay.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, and of course, like you think the screenplay is like the hardest thing about it at that point,
Well, yeah.
Um, you think so. But I had so much fun, and it's like it was like production was like really difficult, but it's also something that I look at really fondly. Like those hot late summer days shooting in Minnesota, you're surrounded by all these people. It was really really exciting. I don't want to go and do it like you know next month or anything, but it was cool.
Okay. And was there any cool stories from the set, like some, something either like funny or cool to happen while being on set?
Um, there's so many um, things that happened on set. The thing that jumps out at me is like there was this wind chime at the house, and it just drove me crazy, so I had to take it down. And but the like the song, like the theme, got stuck in my head, like the entire month I was shooting, and it's like what I heard all day long. Um, and even after I took it down, it was like I was living in my own horror movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and so eventually I put that to key on a keyboard, and then brought it to my friend David, who brought it to the composers, and that actually became like the opening theme song. And for the longest time, I was like, well, I don't know what you know song I'm stealing right now. So I like went back to like the chime company and like talked to the owners of the house, and
Oh,
apparently,
wow.
yeah, because I didn't want to like be like we stole this music, or what I mean. But apparently I just made the theme song up in my head somehow, so that apparently became the open that became like the main theme of the
That's kind of funny. The chime that you absolutely hated and didn't want to hear, you made as your song.
yeah. It was catchy. What can I say?
Yeah, there you go. And what do you think makes like a really good creepy dark horror film? I mean, you definitely know how to do a horror film like that because yours was very airy and like what makes like a good airy film?
Certainly I think if you're writing a script, you really want to stay on point and focus and keep the story, in each and every scene. So for me, it's more the psychology of what happens in the screenplay
Mhm.
that's creepier than sort of anything else, and just making sure that's sort of incorporated. So you're sort of, building this crescendo of, all these different elements coming together. So instead of having random kills or things like that, every scene has its purpose.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like sometimes when the whole entire movie is someone killing and slashing,
Yeah,
it kind of loses it's like steam towards like the end because you're like, all right, I've seen like 25 deaths already within like 40 minutes. So
exactly. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's like typically get bored to death watching action movies or like in slashers. You know, like if you're doing Halloween, if you're doing Terrifier 2, you need a certain amount of you know, sort of random kills to show the power
yeah,
of the villain. It's also just sort of cool. But you know, this movie really, you know, it's eerie in a different way. You know, you have some kills, you have some blood, but you know, everything else is sort of doing the work. Um, you know, originally in the script there was like another character who was just like killed off right away. But
oh
that
okay,
character, yeah. So in the original script, Emma had a sister who is just, you know, this terrible person who you're supposed to hate. So it's supposed to show like the power of the, you know, of the cults or the ghosts. But
yeah.
ultimately, Celeste replaced that character to make it, you know, a little more integral.
Okay, okay, makes sense. You mentioned the Terrifier film. Like I absolutely love those films. Like
Yeah,
art is definitely like my new like slasher guy.
yeah. That's you're gonna be for Halloween.
I was in last year.
Oh, you were ahead of the
I
curve.
was.
What are you gonna be this year?
This year I'm not sure yet. Like I still don't have my are you like a anime fan at all?
When my nephew gives me an assignment to watch anime, I watch it, but it's been a little while since he's done that.
Well, did you ever hear of the horror one, Death, 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 Death Note?
No, I should check it out.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's a horror anime, Death Note,
Definitely.
and the main demon in it, he's the one who holds the book in his hand, and basically it's a book that this demon has, and he drops it he drops it down to earth, and whatever human picks up the book, he has full control over the book through the demon. And if he writes your name in the book and the way you're that the way he wants you to die, that's how you really die.
Oh, it's one of those ideas. I'm like, damn, why didn't I come up with that? That's a good idea.
And I'm trying to be him for Halloween, like the actual demon that holds the book, but there's like no costumes to him, and everything I saw online that looks something like him is like very expensive. So I don't know what I'm gonna do now.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
What about you? You gonna dress up for Halloween this year?
Well, I'm like a little stuck because my boyfriend he is dressing up. He would kill me if he knew I was going to say this. But who's in the Joker? Who's the Joker's counterpart? Um,
Oh, not Quinn, Harley
yeah,
Quinn.
Harley. So he's going as like Harley Quinn. He like never did drag, and they did drag for bachelor party. He's like, I'm gonna be here for Halloween. So that I guess means I have to be like the most stereotypical thing ever. I'm probably be the Joker this year.
I mean, you
Uh,
would have to if he's gonna be Harley. You
Harley,
definitely have to
yeah,
be the
I
Joker.
have to be the Joker. So like I'll be one of a sea of Jokers this year.
Well,
Um,
hey, you could do the whole thing that they're making a movie now with Lady Gaga
yeah,
playing Harley Quinn and
right.
what's his name? Wa Joaquin
Joaquin
Phoenix, is
Phoenix.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's playing the
yeah,
Joker. Yeah.
yeah. So I gotta be. I can't be like the Jack Nicholson Joker because Harley Quinn didn't
That
even
was
exist.
my favorite.
Yeah, yeah. He was definitely like the, you know, there's so many good Jokers, but like really, let's face it, like in terms of like the look, you know, it was Jack for sure.
Oh my
Can't be.
God, hands down, hands down. Like for the look, it was Jack Nicholson. For the actual performance, performance as the Joker, I would say it goes to Heath.
Yep. Yep. And then you got Joaquin. So it's like, what do you even do? It's like, a couple of these guys who are pretty good get laughed off the stage because the other guys are so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they say like Mark Hamill's like the best Joker ever. So I don't
Eh, eh.
Yeah, I saw something online. It was like Mark Hamill's the best Joker ever. I'm like, he's animated, but okay.
I mean, Mark Hamill is good in his lane, the Star Wars stuff, and even when they brought him in as Chucky, I hated it.
Oh, they brought him in as Chucky?
Yeah, they tried to make a Child's Play without Brad Dourif that had nothing to do with the storyline of the original Chucky. This Chucky, they was an artificial intelligence ro- robot doll, and Mark Hamill was the voice of Chucky. I mean, Mark Hamill was good as the voice of Chucky, but I didn't like the movie. Shouldn't have been called Child's Play because that wasn't Chucky. Like
Yeah.
if it was like a stand-alone film that had nothing to do with the franchise, I would have liked it.
I didn't even know that movie existed, so I guess it didn't do very well.
No, it bombed.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
unfortunate.
when the diehard horror fans found out that Brad Dourif wasn't the voice and that Chucky is an artificial intelligence thing instead of a human spirit in a doll, like they boycotted it.
I When did it come out? How long ago?
I would say about 4 years ago, probably
Really?
5 years ago. Yeah.
Interesting. No idea. And I think I've seen probably five of the Chucky movies
Yeah.
around there. Yeah.
Uh,
Don't ever put a Chucky doll in your car, by the way. Just letting you know. Just don't drive around with the Chucky doll in your car. It's
no,
not
no.
not good.
It's not like he can put a bag over your head, put the knife through the seat. Like, yeah. And this has nothing to do with your film, but what kind of music do you like? Like, what's on your playlist?
I'm like a big like vinyl record guy, so
Hmm.
I'm like a Grateful Dead, Bob Dylan type of listener. But I do listen to a lot of electronica and stuff like that as well when I work out, or rap when I work out. And then I listen to the Joy Division. Um, and there are a lot of different groups. How about you?
Me, I'm more of like a heavy metal, rock and roll type guy, but but I do like everything because I
Yeah,
will listen to dance music and pop and
yeah.
growing up I was a huge Paula Abdul fan,
Okay.
so like I recently, like, she just came to Philly on tour and I went to go see her like
Oh yeah.
about 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah, I listen to a lot of Metallica. I think I've seen Megadeth in concert like four times for some reason.
I
Um,
saw them.
yeah.
They put on a good live show. They really do. Them and Iron Maiden's good live.
Oh yeah, that's a throwback. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I listen to all those old school bands, Maiden and Rat and Wasp and
Wow.
Poison and Def
Okay.
Leppard and
You gotta love Poison. I mean, yeah, they look like a WWF, wrestling team. They're also had really good music.
definitely. And I'm a big wrestling fan. As you can see, the Macho Man's leaning up against Chucky.
I didn't see that. I can see it now. R.I.P.
Yeah. And if you were gonna do a karaoke song, what do you think you would sing?
Well, I do like Neil Diamond, or I'm practicing I'm Just Ken right now, because I'm going to be doing karaoke like next week.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm gonna surprise everyone with like a new song. I have like my Johnny Cash standards or whatever, easy stuff. Like I can't go like I like doing Elvis too. Elvis, I don't know why. But yeah, I can't go too high. Right?
Hmm.
Everyone has a bad time if I try to sing high notes.
Oh. And the last question I will ask you is like, where could fans follow the film, watch the film, and also follow you at?
Yeah, so there's Voice of Shadows movie on Instagram. And then there's Voice of Shadows Facebook page. I'm Nick Bain SW on Instagram. And there's also Arc Entertainment on Instagram as well if you want to follow the production company.
Awesome, buddy. Well, thank you so much for coming on and doing this. It was really nice meeting you. Thank you.
Yeah, nice meeting you too, Rocco. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Thanks for making time.
Of course, buddy. Have a good one.
You too. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.